Imagine your business finally hits it big. A viral moment sends thousands of users to your site at once. But instead of a flood of sales, your digital foundation buckles. The pages stall, the checkout freezes, and your site goes dark. To understand why this happens, we have to look at how most businesses get online. They use shared hosting. This means your website is crammed onto a single physical machine alongside dozens or even hundreds of entirely different businesses. You are all pulling from the exact same pool of processing power, memory, and bandwidth. Because of this, your website's performance is completely tied to the behavior of absolute strangers. That means if another company on your machine runs a massive promotion or gets hit by a wave of malicious traffic, your site pays the price. Your platform can crash purely because of someone else's activity. In network engineering, this is resource contention. When a neighboring site gets a massive traffic spike, it greedily consumes the shared server CPU. The hardware cannot distinguish between your legitimate customers and their sudden surge, pushing your traffic to the back of the line. And modern digital consumers don't wait in line. If a shopping cart takes more than a few milliseconds to load, they simply close the tab and move to a competitor. When your business hits a ceiling and your site slows down, the issue rarely has to do with your code. You simply lack hardware isolation. The permanent solution to this problem is a dedicated server. As you can see with this standalone industrial cabinet, a dedicated server is a massive, bare metal machine where 100% of the hardware belongs exclusively to one client. There is no sharing. Every single processing core is devoted entirely to your operations. Your compute tasks are never queued behind another company's requests. You also get dedicated RAM. This allows large-scale databases and complex applications to remain fully active in memory without ever being purged or swapped out to make room for a noisy neighbor. But to reach absolute peak performance, you also need to upgrade how the server reads and writes data. We must move away from the narrow, congested pipeline of older SATA drives and shift to the wide, multi-lane highway of NVMe storage. NVMe drives bypass older controllers entirely, connecting directly to the server CPU using high-speed PCIe lanes, which drops data latency from around 200 microseconds down to a mere 20. By combining exclusive processing power with that level of data speed, you guarantee consistent performance no matter what else is happening across the internet. The physical components provide the speed, but the management layer determines how that power is actually deployed. Isolation is only effective if you have total administrative control over the machine. This is where root access comes in. On a Linux system, or administrator rights on Windows, root access is the highest level of system authority, and it is granted automatically on unmanaged dedicated servers. With this permission, you can configure custom operating system installations, alter specific kernel parameters, and manually remove internal system limits that block your application from scaling vertically. It also allows you to deploy custom security firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and hypervisors, so you can run your own perfectly isolated virtual machines. Shared hosting forces you to operate by a landlord's strict rules. Root access on a dedicated server makes you the architect of the entire building. As a business scales to enterprise-level operations, like running complex AI models or processing thousands of e-commerce transactions, baseline server configurations must evolve. You require massive network capacity, specifically 10 gigabit per second unmetered network uplinks. These connections ensure that during heavy data transfers or streaming, your network never becomes the bottleneck. You also need specialized memory, like DDR5 ECC, which stands for Error Correction Code. As data flows through the system, ECC RAM automatically identifies and fixes data corruption in real time, preventing fatal system crashes before they can happen. These enterprise features ensure the dedicated server remains a resilient engine capable of handling high-stakes workloads. Stacking the speed of NVMe storage, total control of root access, and strict physical isolation, you achieve two critical business outcomes: impenetrable data security and guaranteed uptime. Removing the unpredictable variables of a shared environment provides the stability needed to target 5 nines, meaning 99.999% availability, a benchmark expected by modern consumers. Providing this tier of enterprise-grade, dedicated infrastructure is exactly what Nexza Host is built to do. Virtual environments and shared spaces are fine for testing ideas, but when it comes time to support a growing business, a dedicated server is the only foundation you can actually rely on.